On today's episode of Wisdom and Wellness, we are with McMillan Masoka, the CEO and founder of Basani Cleaners, which is one of the fastest growing cleaning company in SA. Not only that, he's an actor as well as a TV executive producer. And you know what? I think he's got quite a colorful story. Let's welcome McMillan. What made you want to run away? Did you feel like there was nothing for you at home, or did you feel like the grass is greener in Gauteng?
Something was pushing me towards something.
Okay.
You know, there are things that you have no control over.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, why did I do that? But it's because it needed to happen.
Okay.
You know, I was a very soft child as well, you know? And I think I needed to
Grow up.
find my strength as well.
Yeah.
Away from my mother who was, you know, who loved me so much and, you know, was always protective over me because I was this short, you know, young boy with, you know, squeaky voice and all those things, right? So now I still remember what I was wearing when I ended up in Joburg. I think I was 16.
Sure.
I was wearing a corduroy pants. I can't remember what else, but I remember my brown corduroy pants. I get off the taxi in Bree.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm going.
Yeah.
Right? What I knew is we have a family in Soweto. That's all I knew. So I was like, I'll find my family in Soweto. I didn't know Soweto was as big as it was, because remember, I'm from a village with 20 houses or so. So I'm thinking, hey, I'll get to Soweto. I'll find my family.
Yeah.
So I get there and I'm like, okay, what do I do? I see those big buildings, Carlton Center. I walk to Carlton Center, I get there. So the thing about God is he's always put people in front of me.
Yeah, he's always
to
gone
always,
before you. Yeah, like,
you know?
okay, I'm going to need you to go there because my son.
Yeah. You know, he's always done that. And I remember I was sitting, they used to have downstairs at Carlton Center, they used to have a game, sort of, you know, arcades, right?
Yeah.
So I went there, I'm sitting there, and this young chubby boy, Koza boy comes, you know? Like, hey, man, unjani? I didn't even know how to speak. Because, you know, I had not really heard anyone speak a different language because where I come from, everyone spoke Setswana, you know?
Oh, so you didn't even know Zulu, nothing? English?
A bit.
Sure.
And then we start conversating. And then he's like, no, where are you going? And I tell him the truth, dude. I ran away from home. He's like, no, it's fine. I'm also on the streets, right?
Sure.
But there's a place to sleep later on. So at around 5, we go to, and I don't eat a pie even today because of that. We go to Pie City at 5. We get to Pie City. So all the pies that are leftovers, they give us all those leftover pies. Then we go, we walk around, they showing me town, you know, like I'm a tourist. Later on, we go to the building where we need to sleep. I can never forget that. You know, like those buildings with water dripping everywhere, inside. I'm sure there's even dead bodies somewhere because there's just so much dead on the ground and everywhere else. But there was something amazing about it, right? Because you get there, there's a floor where everyone is sleeping on the same floor, right?
Yeah.
And there's young women, there's young men, but no one is bothering anyone, you know.
Sure.
No one is
It's
bothering
like
the
a
young
safe
women.
space.
Yes, right? And we did that for about 2 days or so.
How did you feel in that moment, knowing that you left a safe home and now you sleeping in a building in a foreign space and you're basically homeless? You're a street child now.
I think I was in a daze for a while, you know?
Yeah.
Because I wasn't thinking about home then, you know?
Really?
I was not.
I'm trying to get in your head about what you were thinking of. Like, what were you looking for?
I don't know. I don't know what I was looking for, but I knew I was on a path.
Yeah.
Right? So I wasn't thinking about home.
Yeah.
I was in that moment.
Okay.
Right? So on the third day, we are walking in town somewhere. We see this prostitute, they sitting by the fire. And we ask, can we, it's a bit cold, can we sit with you guys for a bit? Like, okay, cool. So we sit with them. And later on, one of them says, you are not going back to sleep on the street. I'm taking you home with me. You are my brother from today. She somehow chooses me. She says, listen, I'm taking you home with me. I'm like, okay, cool. Later on, their handler, or I don't know, they call it pimp, right?
Yeah.
He comes. We used to call him Baba Zulu. He was from KZN. He comes, and I'm looking
I
at
feel
them.
like I'm in a movie.
Yeah, they are having this hectic argument because she's insisting on taking me with, and this guy is saying, no,
Yeah.
you're not. Eventually, he's like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
I get in the car with them. We go to the house in Yeovil. We go to the house in Yeovil. I was actually there a couple of months ago. And I gave his daughter, because most of them have died.
Yeah.
I gave his daughter a job.
Sure.
And it was such an
An
emotional thing for me, right? So we get to the house, and he lives there with his family and all those girls that work for him, right? So his wife used to be someone that he was pimping as well,
Okay.
right? So now they've got kids, small kids together.
Yeah.
The one of them is the one that I gave a job to now, right?
Sure.
So he has got those kids, and then he came with his own child from KZN who I start getting along with his son.
So you just got there, and that's your new family.
That's my new family. Yeah.
Your mother, no contact. There's no cell
Remember,
phone.
there's no cell
There's no
phones.
cell-
You know,
so
there's no
you've
phone.
just-
Yeah. So I'm just living in that moment.
Yeah.
So, the rules are set. The guy says to me, "Listen, you can't stay here for free, right? So in the evenings, you and me and his cousin or niece or whoever, no nephew. In the evenings, he's going to take us and drop us off somewhere in town so that we can gather firewood.
Yeah.
And then he'll come back and fetch us so that we can go and make fire for
The
the
prostitutes.
ladies of the night. Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
And then we stay there with them until he picks us all up in the AMs.
What do you think that moment was trying to teach you? Because that's how I try to look at situations, is what is this moment teaching me? What did that teach you? What was the purpose of that?
I think I was too young to understand it then.
Yeah.
And I mean, I didn't even know what a prostitute is until I met them that day, right?
Sure.
But later on, I learned that all these different people that no one cares for,
Yeah.
that no one actually sees,
Yeah. Regards.
right? That no one sees. God put all those people on my path
Sure.
to save me,
Sure.
because he knew that the direction that I was going, where he was taking me, was to a place where I would eventually have to take care of those
Help
people,
them, pick them up.
pick
Yeah.
them up as well,
Yeah.
you know. It was the only way for me to know how to see these people,
How to see people.
you know, how to see
Sure.
people, because it's so easy for us to look at others and just not see them, you know. We just,
Absolutely.
you know, someone was telling me that, you know, you see a guy right on the street asking for money,
Yeah.
and you don't even look, like you just face
Yeah. We
the
saw,
front, right?
Yeah.
But later on at night, it's that same guy who's in your house, who breaks into your house, right? And when you are crying and pleading, you are asking this person to see you, but they don't see you as well, because remember, we don't see them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I
we,
get you.
yeah, so we don't see them; they don't see us as well. You know.
Everyone's just trying to get their own thing.
So what we would do is Monday to Friday. That's what they would do.
Yeah.
Monday to Saturdays, right? And then Sundays, early in the morning, we would all gather.
Yeah.
Even the prostitutes would
Yeah.
all gather in one room, in his bedroom,
Yeah.
Baba Zulu's bedroom, because his wife was awesome, right? We'd all sit on the bed, on the floors, and watch your omnibus of Days of Our Lives and not Generations and The Bold and the Beautiful.
Yeah.
And it was such an amazing moment. Now
Sure.
I look at it, I'm like, dude, for those brief moments,
There's
we were all,
family,
there were
it's love.
people.
Yeah,
There
we
were
are
people.
all one. Yeah.
There were people. They were watching Days. They were back home.
Sure.
And not these vessels that are
Sure.
being used for a certain for pleasure
Yeah.
and to cast away.
Yeah.
And then in December, then they decided, no, you are going back home. Like, you're going
I can't
back
believe
home.
you were 16 and
Yeah,
this is your
they're
life.
like, yes, they were like, you are going back home so that you can go back to school. And they gave me money. I got into a taxi and I went back home.
As a Christian, how do you see people like that? Because it's so easy as Christians to sit on our high horses and say, you're prostituting people.
Yeah.
You're a prostitute. How could you collect kids from this?
Yeah.
Like, it's so easy to sit from this
Yeah.
side and say, what that man did was wrong and the lifestyle is wrong. But as a Christian who's on the other side now and who's been in that, how do you reconcile it? Like, how do you...
There's a podcast that I watch a lot. It's called Soft White Underbelly. So this guy interviews prostitutes, murderers, and just street people.
Yeah.
And sort of to teach people to see them as well, and to try and help those people to go back home. So for me, I look at life the way that he looks at it, that we are all troubled in some way or some form or another. Some people more than others, right? But, God sometimes chooses us and puts those people next to us so that we can help them.
Yeah.
By helping those people, we help ourselves as well,
Yeah.
because there's no one in this world who doesn't have mental issues.
Yeah. We all somehow have
We
our own
all-
troubles. We all need people.
We all need people.
Yeah.
But there's people that make mistakes and think, or they're not equipped enough to understand that you can come back.
Yeah. I love that you said that they're not equipped
Yes.
to think that they can come out.
Yeah.